Episode 14?
Episode 14.
Jesus Christ. I have such a good memory. Alright, you ready?
Yep.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, thanks for listening to Middle-Aged and Mediocre. We are back with episode 14. What's going on? I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
We're actually, making, it's a weekly thing.
Yep.
We haven't taken time off. We got 2 mics.
2 mics.
And more importantly, we have badass new artwork.
Yeah, our new logo.
Yeah, Travis Graham, shout out to him. We sent him, you were talking to him.
Yep.
And he offered to come up with a design for us. We kind of sent him an idea.
Yeah. I like how it's it's definitely a collective project, because you thought of the idea about the cemetery, I thought of the microphones, and then Travis, put our heads in the ground and put his little thing on it, and I like how,
great.
Yeah, it really came together really good.
Yeah, when you sent it to me, I was like, that's fucking perfect. So,
yeah.
But I was actually a little bit sad to take away the hand-drawn. I'd gotten really used to seeing it.
I do miss, that was a good one, too.
I would like to, at some point, actually take that hand-drawn one. I doubt you have that, right?
Probably not.
Probably
no.
There's a little post-it note.
Yeah, I probably threw it away at
Say
work.
if you had it, I would like to take it and take this pen I'm holding right now with a better ink.
Yeah.
And just kind of trace over it to make it stand out and bold.
And
then actually use it as a different kind of logo.
I could probably recreate it.
It wasn't I think it'd make a fun T-shirt.
I think it would too.
Yeah, just really simple. Yeah. So people look at it, ask what it is.
I mean, what we should do is buy white T-shirts, and I'll draw each one.
There you go, man. I mean, we'll only sell 3. So
yeah, we could sell them cheaper like that. Just get some white T-shirts from the dollar store, Family Dollar, and I'll just get a black marker. Yeah, we'll draw them and wash them once, and there it is.
Well, there we go. We're gonna start selling T-shirts.
We just came up with an idea.
So I'll buy you some markers.
Yeah. I'll get the T-shirts, and I'll, there you go.
Well, there we go, man.
If you want a shirt, send us your size.
Yeah, sure.
Like your shirt size, not, I don't know.
Send us both.
What's their mix-a-lot say? 28, 34, 20, I don't even know the number. Only if she's 5'3". Whoopsh, whoopsh.
Shout out to Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Shout out. Sir Mix-a-Lot, if you're listening.
Friend of the show, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yeah. Hey, do we have any random shout-outs to, businesses this week? We shouted out Home Industry Bakery.
I had one of the pepperoni rolls yesterday. Just shout out Travis Graham. I think that's the only shout-out we need, man.
Yeah, I don't know
he listens to the show, and he's badass little artist.
Travis is still part of... He had, a little media group.
Okay.
At one point, I don't know if he's still doing that or not, but, if you just find Travis Graham on Facebook, if you guys need some artwork or something, the dude is... super fucking talented.
Yeah.
He came in and filmed the first Inception show that we did. Filmed it, put together a music video for it. Just great, dude.
He was jumping up on the apron.
Yeah, he knew what to do.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He's a good guy.
So, yeah. So, hey, I was thinking about something the other night.
Okay.
I've been thinking about time and, just life a lot lately. So... I don't know if most people, I think a lot of people that know me probably, I joke a lot. I guess it's a joke. I'll say life is just a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I buy into that, but not to the point where I'd make it my whole personality or whatever, like some people would. But I do think it's a very, possible answer to what life is. We're us living in a simulation.
Yeah, we're all just bodies somewhere.
We're just data that's been
whoa, man,
downloaded into something. And I mean I was saying about how there's always, isn't it you don't think it's weird that we get a update every month or every 10 years, every decade's defined by a style, by the way we dress, the way our movies and television
the nicknames of our generations,
things
and
like that.
whatnot.
Everything's defined by a certain, and it changes every decade. It seems. I just think that's weird, right? Isn't that strange? How We get like an update.
I don't know. I don't think about it. I guess I'm just a mouse, and I just run through the maze and give me some cheese.
You're just sniffing the cheese.
Yeah,
I just feel like
I need to sniff your cheese, man. If you're thinking that kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm not even. So I haven't even like. I'm not high.
Yeah.
Just like as a disclaimer, I am not high right now, and I was not high when I thought.
See, I am, but you're telling me this. This is blowing my fucking mind.
You were.
Yeah. Well, I'm awake.
I assumed you were, but I was like at a certain point, why would we, as people, keep it why would we advance certain things? Like, why did we ever decide to change clothing styles? We had at some point in the history of time, we basically had it right.
Yeah.
But why did we decide to
I think because everybody
fashion and style.
Everybody wants to do what they think is better than the generation before them.
Yeah,
maybe. I think it's just what makes people is just their individuality of it.
Yeah.
We're not animals, and we're not we behave like animals, but I think there's enough amongst us that want to try to do things in our minds better or different than the generation before. So that's why you have that constant evolution.
But how do you think that happens? How do you think there's the random individual amongst the millions of others?
Yeah.
The one individual is a creator. They stand above. Almost like they're hand selected as the main character.
Yeah, follow this.
But then I was thinking, the thing I was mostly thinking of was not life as destiny or predetermined, but more so as we are on a rail. We start at point A.
Yeah.
And we are just on a rail to the end. And we don't, there is no real free will.
Okay. Yeah.
We say there is, we think there is, because we think maybe, I have the freedom if I wanted to go jump out in front of traffic right now.
Sure.
But then you got the little voice in your head. You brought up the voice in your head when you got here.
Yeah, the inner monologue.
Your inner monologue. So your inner monologue kicks in and starts, well, hey, let's not do that.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad idea.
Probably shouldn't.
Right, so we don't really have, because then if we ignore it or we don't hear it, and we do jump in front of traffic, maybe that was what we were supposed to be doing. So I just feel I don't know, what do you think? If we're just on a rail, do you think it even matters if we are? Say you find out, you get to peek behind the curtain, and you find out, yep, everybody's on just this, on a track.
Straight line.
And nothing's going to deviate, so what happens is going to happen. And you're just going to... Do you think it would matter? Or would you just be let me just see what happens then?
I think it would bum me out if everything that's going to happen is going to happen. I don't have a lot of control over my life, I don't feel like. But I like to think that, there's still, little things maybe I can try better at, harder at,
But maybe that's part of the rail system, man. Maybe
I'm fucking leaving, dude. Alright? I came over here for murder and torture and sodomy. I don't know.
This is mental
stories
torture.
of sodomy, not
mental torture.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me think of this the other night, but it was a couple nights ago. I got the idea in my head, and then I was I'm bringing this up.
Yeah.
Because there's a good chance Joel's high when he gets home. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just some weird shit
And now I won't sleep tonight.
I was tossing around in the old noggin. So
that's what goes on in your head
most of the time.
All right.
That's why I have a prescription to Ambien to sleep at night.
Okay.
Because if I don't, that's what I do
just
all night long.
I might need that. I don't sleep. My sleep is basically I get high enough where I pass out, and that lasts for a couple hours, and then I wake up, and I'm all right, well, if I'm awake. I just kind of lay there and toss and turn.
Man, a lot of people, when I say I take Ambien, they've tried it or they've attempted whatever, and a lot of people, it gives them terrible nightmares. Really bad nightmares, they say.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the stories of people like sleepwalking.
Yeah, see, I've heard all
Shit
that.
like that.
Terrible nightmares don't bother me. I mean, I eat terrible nightmares for breakfast.
Those are good. The marshmallow ones?
Yep. Not with unicorn marshmallows, actually.
With bleeding unicorns. I don't, even when I do, like, I have very vivid dreams and nightmares.
Sure.
And even when I do, I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird to me, not that I'm saying people are wrong for having this reaction, and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's very weird to me when people are, like, upset by their dreams and nightmares.
Yeah, like that's the
like,
shit in your head.
Thing your brain was kicking, like, throwing at you. You can't help that, you know? But, I've never had those effects, though, from Ambien. When I first started taking it for, like, the first 3 weeks, I was... 2 weeks. If I would take it, like, and then I would get up to go use the bathroom, I would feel like, basically, a giant baby. I would feel like my head was...
Like you're tripping or something?
I was just like, my head would basically be, like, pulling me forward.
Yeah.
And I was, like, stumbling. Didn't have control over my
legs. That KO kind of did that to me. I really liked the KO, though. But sometimes I would wake up off that, and that was really good. I wish we could still get KO.
I can send you home with one. If you want to try it.
I might.
Take it tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If you don't have to work.
Yeah.
Next day.
I might.
I mean, like, I've never had... I had a really bad... At first, I had a really bad habit of... spending money on shit online. Like, I wouldn't remember it.
Wow.
It would show up, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Or
Amy and Josh ordered it.
Or Amy and Josh was a fucking shopper. Or I would get emails being, like, confirming my subscription to something. Like, when I started taking it about the same time vaping became a thing.
Yeah.
And there was a place called, like, Blackout Pens or something like that. And they would... You could sign up for a subscription to where every month they would send you, like...
A vape of the month.
Yeah, but they were like disposable ones.
Yeah.
So, like, they'd be preloaded. You'd smoke it, you could toss it. And they'd have different flavors and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I didn't vape. So, I get this in the mail. And I'm like, what the fuck are these? And, like, I go Google the company. And I'm like, why am I... What? And then I go through my email and I find it where I had... It was like $65 a month.
Jesus.
And I was like, whoa. And, like, I committed to like a year subscription.
Oh my god.
So I emailed them and told them. I was like, hey, I do not want these. Like, I was high on Ambien.
Yeah.
And they gave me like a full refund.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let me
like
keep
we
those.
get it.
Yeah, they were.
So Roseanne gets racist on Twitter on Ambien, and you just...
I just buy some shit.
You just buy
man.
Shit.
Yeah, I'll still have times where
You're racist?
Where I'm very racist. Yeah, I don't... That was the most bullshit experience I've ever heard in my life.
Ambien.
I'll have times where it doesn't really happen anymore, but like the first year or so, I would like have like Tim. I remember I would have like conversations with Tim through text.
Uh-huh.
And if you asked me like the next morning what was said, I'd have no fucking recollection of we ever even. I'd committed to shit.
Yeah.
Or just with different people, I would commit to plans. And then I'd be like going back there and be like, Andy and Josh committed to that.
Regular Josh does not want to do that at all.
Yeah, so I can give you one if you want to check out, report back.
I mean, you make him sound really fun.
The sleep's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
you wake up, you're not like, you know how like if you take NyQuil or something like that?
Yeah.
The next day you're like a zombie.
Yeah.
None of that.
I don't know. I might try half of one. Can I cut it in half?
Yeah. It basically just shut your brain off.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I could stand a little of that.
Yeah. But yeah. So we are going to, before we get to a story, which I have ready to go, we're going to do a couple. You got some questions for me?
Yeah. Let's do some more. Would you rather?
Yeah. People seem to like. I got a little bit of feedback on it. People liked it.
Well, good. Well, we want people to keep liking what we're doing.
Yeah,
I guess.
People seem to be digging the new format, so let's keep it going with some. We got some Would You Rather.
I got 3 of them for you.
All right.
Would you rather never be able to brush your teeth or never be able to wash your hands? I assume you do both of these?
I do.
Okay. It's a tough one. Never brush your teeth, never wash your hands. You're not winning either way.
No, you're not.
Pick your poison, as they say.
I mean, okay, I'd probably go with never washing my hands, and then it would give me a reason to wear gloves of some sort. I could be that weird glove guy.
Oh, that's a good point. Just take them off and change them. See, I thought of the gloves today after work. But mine would be, when I was talking, I said I'd probably do the never brush your teeth, because I could, like, drink water, eat gum.
Chew gum
and then eventually they'd just rot out, and then it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if you let your teeth rot out, would it carry over to never clean your dentures?
I wouldn't get them.
You just wouldn't get dentures?
No.
So you would just be toothless.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's a bold choice.
All right. So we'll fight over that after this.
Just, you can just put gloves on, but whatever.
Yeah, well, okay, that's what I just thought of that on the way over, I said. Or earlier.
Wear, like, the fancy driving gloves.
Yeah.
Take them off and smack people with them.
You get poop on it, you just take them off, get another glove.
Yeah, man, you can wipe your ass with your hand.
Oh, I mean, I do that already, but... Okay. Would you rather to only be able to communicate via ear whisper, which means if you talk to someone, you'd have to get all up to them, do the whisper in their ear, and they'd have to whisper in your ear, or would you rather only be able to communicate via song? So everyone that talks to you is singing to you, and every time you talk to someone, you have to sing to them.
Oh, these are my worst nightmares. I fucking hate musicals. Because that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I live in a musical.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God,
to
I hate
you.
it. I fucking hate it. Why is it happening? Why do musicals happen? But oh my God.
But do you want people up in your ear every time they talk?
Oh no, because that is just.
So when I come over,
I guess I gotta go with the singing.
All right, let's hear
I don't
something.
like people being that close to me.
You got to answer it singingly then.
I'm not going to.
Okay, I tried, listeners.
This is I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking. This is my, I guess I don't
Sure.
know. Does that not count? That doesn't count. I'm sorry.
You just wouldn't talk then, I guess.
Yeah, I'm mute now.
But people would sing at you still.
Oh,
Welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?
go fuck yourself.
All right, last one.
All right.
Would you rather drive cross country without any music, or drive cross country without a windshield?
Without a windshield.
Wow.
I have to have music. Although I couldn't fucking hear it. I don't think I didn't.
Yeah, that would be true. I thought about you'd have to turn it up really loud.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth closed.
Yeah.
Probably glasses.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I gotta have music.
Yeah.
I drove back from.
I could just sing to you the whole time.
Oh,
if
you're
you
with me?
Can I be in the trunk
then?
No.
This was me alone.
You are alone. You're alone.
Yeah. I gotta have music. I drove back from Indianapolis. One time because of some bullshit with the job. And, like, as I started out of Indianapolis, I had, like, a CD player, like, the old school, like, you plug in the CD player.
Sure.
It's an actual
the
compact
disc. Yeah. The Walkman.
Yeah. And it quit working. And there was... Nothing would come through the radio.
Oh.
One station would come through pretty much the whole way. It was like some Christian gospel shit. And so the whole time I'm driving back from Indianapolis in complete silence.
Oof.
And if for somebody like me that has a brain that
the inner
doesn't
monologue.
fucking shut up.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrible. So
you'd go no windshield.
I would definitely let all the bugs just smash into my face.
I think I could go no music because, like, I just talk to myself. Like, that's, like, my inner monologue would probably... That's where it would...
you could just have conversations with
I don't know if I could go no windshield. I'd be so fucking worried about, like, a bird or something. Just because I've driven and had, like, birds bounce off the windshield.
Jesus.
Yeah. It happened, like... It's only happened on one trip.
I would hope it's...
And it happened, like... But it happened twice in the same evening. Like, birds hitting our...
Sign.
Yeah. Oh, it was a fucking sign, all right.
That was... Yeah, that
Don't drive without a windshield.
Yeah.
Don't get married.
I've never had birds dive at my windshield like you have.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
All
right, that was it. That was Would You Rather.
Those were the singing and whispering. That's like the hardest decision ever. I
couldn't have anyone whisper to me. I would sing to me.
Dude,
I'd sing. That's fine with me.
Yeah, please don't fucking
get the fuck away from my ear. Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Well, we are going to while I shake off the the absolute terror of that situation, we are going to get an ad break in real quick, and then we will be words, man, words.
You're struggling with them today.
I am. We will be back with the story of the Cleveland torso murders.
Okay.
Okay, man. You want to hear some? You want to hear a murder story?
That's what I came over for.
Right?
Yeah.
Here from my weird.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Me making you question reality.
Yeah. Can we just talk about murder, please?
Let's talk about a bunch of murders.
Cool.
Between 1935 and 1938, or 1934 and 1950, as some suspect, an unidentified serial killer carved their mark in Cleveland, Ohio's history forever, leaving behind a path of brutality cluttered with the dismembered bodies of at least 12 victims. The grisly nature of these killings earned the killer the nicknames the Cleveland Torso Murderer and the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run.
Ooh.
Good wrestling name.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Kingsbury Run is still like the place...
What if the killer would like kill people and then clean up real good and like shampoo the carpets and he'd be like the Cleveland Steamer?
Well, you know what? This guy kind of did.
Okay!
So maybe that's where that comes from.
Maybe. I thought it was a sexual term. Cleveland Steamer?
Now it is.
Oh, is it? What is the Cleveland Steamer and the sexual...
Cleveland Steamer is, I believe...
It's got something to do with poop?
Yeah. It's got something to do with shitting. I think he's like, yeah. I don't know. It's gross.
Yeah.
On the east side of Cleveland, in the 1930s, there was an impoverished neighborhood called
Cleveland?
Kingsbury Run.
Okay.
Yeah. That has been described as an open sore festering with refuse and decay. This blemish on the city was a shanty town made by the hobos that had been pushed into the city by depression. A desperate place made by desperate folks, this valley of lost hope proved to be the perfect dumping grounds for the Mad Butcher.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. What was the first part? An open sore? That was poetic.
It was described as an open sore festering with refuse and decay.
Man,
so good place.
That's beautiful, actually.
I know.
Could you actually tell how fucking shitty this place is?
Yeah. An open sore.
Ugh.
Filled with pus.
I like to think of myself as a healing sore.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, we all gotta think good things about ourselves. On September 23rd, 1935, two kids were exploring an embankment in Kingsbury Run, known as Jackass Hill, when they suddenly began scrambling back up the hill, making a frantic dash to get far away from whatever had caused their terror. They ran into a man who stopped them and asked what they were up to and what was wrong. One of the boys finally gathered himself enough to proclaim, "There's a man down there, and he hasn't got a head."
Whoa!
Detectives Emil Musil and Orley May,
Emil and Orley,
not Irish at all, were the first two to arrive and quickly found that there wasn't one headless man down the embankment, but two. Both bodies had been washed and drained of their blood.
Okay.
The heads were found nearby, buried in two separate places.
Vampires, eh?
Both men's penises had been severed and were found buried near one of the heads. Oil, acid, or some sort of chemical, later identified as, I believe, benzyl, which is like a solvent of some sort, had been poured over one of the bodies, severely burning it. Both bodies had been there for several days based on the decomposition. The second victim was identified as Edward Andrassi by his fingerprints. Andrassi was a 28-year-old...
He didn't have a head. They're like, that's Edward!
That's Headward. Headwear.
No headward.
No headwear. Andrassi was 20 years old at the time of his death and had worked as an orderly in the psychiatric ward at the Cleveland City Hospital. But at the end of his young life, he had no job or any visible means of support. I think he had a wife and a kid.
Wow.
But there was it said something about how they worded it really weird. They said he married someone, I forget her name, but she quickly left him, and then they just said gave him a child. So
like a parting gift?
I'm assuming they mean like They got together, got married, he knocked her up, she left him. 9 months later, there was a baby.
Yeah.
And they don't mean, yeah, she was like, look, I'm leaving you, but to make things easier, here's George.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he left behind a...
John Wick got a puppy when his wife died. This guy gets a baby.
This guy gets a baby. And then...
and his head chopped off.
His head chopped off. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure the wife and the kid, out of the picture. So, where was I at here? Oh, yeah, so, he was tall, slender, dark-haired, and handsome, but had a horrible reputation. In the book Torso, Stephen Nichols summarized what he had discovered about Edward by saying that he was a man who had dealt in pornographic literature, he had smoked marijuana, he had been ran out of Detroit by an Oriental gangster that he had somehow pissed off.
Jesus, this is the coolest guy ever!
While I'm writing this, I was like, this dude's fucking awesome.
I thought you were talking about me until yeah.
And he's pissing off gangsters.
Oriental gangsters.
He had been romantically involved with a married woman whose husband had vowed to kill him.
I'll kill him right now. All right, he's no longer cool in my book.
Hey man, I think it's a little bit too late.
Oh, okay.
You can try.
I'm gonna sew his head back on and chop it back off.
Get his ass back over here. Or parts of him, anyways. Nickel, the dude that wrote that book, states few people would have made a more likely candidate for murder than Edward Andersey. So, he was pretty badass.
Yeah.
That's a good legacy to leave behind. Like, yeah, I definitely believe he was murdered.
Yeah, like no shit.
You would have given me 10 guesses as to who would be the murder victim.
That guy. Every time.
The first victim that was found was never identified, but his age was estimated to be between 40 and 45 years old. Both men had been decapitated while still alive with a sharp instrument. Both had rope burns on their wrists as well. After a few days of investigating, the police determined that the murders had been crimes of passion, with a woman being involved somehow.
What?
Always blame...
Women are always involved.
Always blame the dame. You know what I mean?
What broad brought this on?
Them damn broads.
Dudes are always losing their heads over girls.
Mm-hmm. And their penises.
Yep. Yep.
The victims had been taken to Kings... This is more of what the police are coming up with. The victims had been taken to Kingsbury Run after their deaths had been conducted elsewhere, and the two men knew each other, according to police. It was assumed that the unidentified victim had been murdered first, and then immersed in the chemical that had burned his body, while the killer went about trapping and murdering Edward. The police continued investigating for weeks, but without any new evidence and all leads coming up dry, the investigation died down.
Couldn't they just keep making shit up like they did about this?
I know,
there's a woman involved. They gotta be friends.
He was into porno and marijuana, so he clearly deserved it.
Yep.
By November, crime in Cleveland had grown completely out of control.
Well, yeah.
Decades of political and police corruption had turned the city into a sanctuary for mobsters and bootleggers. Harold Burton was elected mayor in a landslide victory due to his promise to clean up the crime and fix the police force. Burton immediately took steps to back up his promise by appointing a young crime fighter by the name of Eliot Ness.
Ooh, I've heard of him.
You've heard of him. As the new man in charge of the city's police and fire departments.
Untouchable, right?
Untouchables, yeah. Yep. He was the lead dude that took down Capone.
Nice.
So, but this is where he first kind of got to start.
Okay.
Ness launched major attacks on gambling and police corruption and upgraded the caliber of rookie cops by establishing a modern police academy. So he also created the Police Academy series.
Oh, cool.
So, the Goot owes him a lot.
Man.
Strange.
And we owe the Goot a lot.
We owe the Goot. Yeah. I'd say almost everything.
Yeah. I definitely would say it. So I guess we owe Ness everything.
Yes.
Man.
Thank you, Eliot Ness. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve Gutenberg.
Shout out, friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show.
The people of Cleveland began to believe that crime was on the ropes in their city. On January 26th, a miserably cold Sunday, a local business owner called to report a murder.
Murder.
Officers found portions of a human body scattered around East 20th and East 21st Streets. Parts of the body were found in a basket, and other parts were found wrapped in burlap sacks. At the time, all the police could provide the coroner was the lower half of a woman's torso. Her right hand was sent, and they found her right hand, which was sent to a lab to obtain fingerprints. The victim was identified from her fingerprints as 42-year-old Flo Palillo.
Oh.
Flo was a moderately stout woman with reddish hair and a fair complexion. She was a wee Irish dame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like it.
There was a picture of her that
Flo.
I had, and she is Irish as shit.
Just potatoes, fries.
Just, her whole body's potatoes. And she was an attractive fellow, though. She had been arrested a time or two for prostitution, which is why her fingerprints were on file.
I'd like to mash some potatoes.
She was very well liked. She was a very well liked woman.
Oh, she was.
Who was described as very friendly and kind.
Hand job, blow job.
Flo job. Flo had a serious drinking problem, though, and was known to become aggressive and combative when intoxicated.
You said Irish. Now move on.
Come on, man.
Oh, sorry.
Come on. I got a bottle of proper 12 Irish whiskey right here. I feel like I'm just buying into the stereotype. Or I'm making it worse. She had made a habit out of getting herself into abusive relationships, routinely appearing with swollen and blackened eyes. Yeah. On February 7th...
She made it a habit.
The picture of her, though, she really does look like a genuinely, sweet human being.
Yeah.
It's just something about her eyes. I saw the picture of her, and I was like, oh, man, that's... I was very bummed out by a woman that died in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
That I just now, I'm reading
She
about.
has that sweet look to her.
I was like, man, she was probably going to be like a cool-ass grandma or something. Anyways, on February 7th, 1936, the rest of her body, with the exception of her head, was found behind a vacant house, scattered haphazardly against a fence. The cold weather had kept the remains remarkably well preserved. Based on the muscles in her neck being retracted, the coroner concluded that decapitation had been the cause of death.
Ugh.
So now we got 3, possibly 4 decapitation deaths over an 18-month period occurring in the same area, but nobody tied the murders together as being the work of one killer.
Yeah.
The possible 4th victim had been found a year prior to the discovery of the first 2 bodies. The lower half of a body had washed up on the shore of nearby Lake Erie. The legs had been severed at the knees. Odd skin discoloration and burns suggested that the body had been washed with a chemical. The upper half of the body washed up on shore about 30 miles away a few weeks later, or a few days later, I can't remember now. The victim's head was never found, and she became known as the Lady of the Lake. So we'll see how this progresses, but so far, both dudes' heads were found.
Yeah.
Decapitated, but
they were
found.
buried nearby.
Both women's heads never found.
Never found.
This unidentified woman, I don't know if I already said this, but she became known as the Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
This unidentified woman was never officially considered part of the Kingsbury Run murders, but there are many who include her as a victim of the Mad Butcher
with
Kingsbury Run.
The chemical washing and the...
Yeah, it seems pretty likely.
Yeah.
Plus, the lake
could have been natural death. Maybe her legs fell off at the knees. Yeah.
I feel like they're going to give out sometimes like that. So.
Head just gave out.
Yeah, head just rolled off. It happens, man.
It does. They probably took her little ribbon off that was holding her head on.
That's like one of your favorite stories, isn't
it? It is.
You brought that up twice.
I know. That's what I was saying. I was like, I think I'm talking about this already. Josh is now drinking more. That's the only way he can put up with me. That's why I call him Dad.
Man, it's been a rough week. It feels like it's been 8 months this week.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's just now Friday.
Yep, I know.
I've had 7 Fridays this week.
Wow. I've had 9 Mondays.
9 Mondays?
Yep, just call me Garfield.
All right, Garfield. With Mayor Harold Burton's plan to build a more positive image of the city... What the fuck sentence is that? Okay, hold on. Mayor Harold Burton's plan to build a more positive image of the city going well, Cleveland began preparing for the Republican National Convention, which was to start the first week of June 1936. Delegates began pouring into the city by June 5th, eager to begin a week of partying before the convention officially began.
It was huge.
Like, they're going to,
I don't know why. You called it. I turned my head, too, away from the mic.
They're going to be doing a lot of fucking drinking, probably a bunch of rape.
Yeah.
Republican delegates just raping everyone. I don't know what I'm trying to imply there. Most of the politicians
imply. I picked up on something there.
I must have read that wrong for that implication. Most of the politicians were first-time visitors to Cleveland and were very
first-time rapists.
First-time rapists. Well,
for Cleveland.
In Cleveland, and were very impressed by the new buildings, the magnificently landscaped trees, and the fountains that made up the mayor's dazzling new downtown.
And plus the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That was not there yet.
What?
I don't think so. Not in the 30s.
Okay.
I doubt it.
Oh, maybe not.
I'm assuming that's like 50s, 60s, 70s.
Like
Rock and roll didn't
90s.
Till like
it was like 90s. Yeah.
90s.
It was a bad joke.
Yeah, you got me. You had me. Hall of Fames are kind of weird, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
You just sort of like walk through. Oh, there's a picture.
There's somebody.
There's a thing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anyways. Cleveland had undertaken an enormous amount of public construction projects, with the focal point being a large mall that would include the new City Hall. The Terminal Tower was the most distinguished-looking and memorable building downtown by far. The front of the tower opened up into the public square, which was filled by hotels, restaurants, and department stores. For the politicians, this new and improved downtown area of Cleveland was a highlight of their visit. Behind the tower, however, the vast underbelly of Cleveland stretched for miles around the Cuyahoga River. The river was used to feed iron ore and other raw materials into nearby blast furnaces and mills, while a huge network of railroad tracks took the finished products to every part of the country. Black soot from the coal fires blanketed the area in filth, and the sulfurous stench was overpowering, and the land was strewn with trash and industrial waste.
But the rich people were getting richer, right?
But the rich were getting... This was like Depression era. So, yeah, definitely like... There's a definite divide here between... Like, it's just cut down the middle of downtown. Like, on one side of the fence, basically, it's just wealth and prosperity. Like, the new mayor's here doing some shit. On the other side, it's just awful. An inexhaustible supply of unwanted labor poured into the great city, or into the city from rural Ohio, West Virginia, and Indiana. This workforce, brought to the city by the Great Depression and referred to as hobos, looked for non-existent jobs in the mills. The hobos camped in small corrugated metal shacks, creating a city of their own right in the backyard of the new and improved downtown area of Cleveland. This was Kingsbury Run, shunned by the impressive and modern architecture that loomed over it, hiding it from the eyes and minds of those who wanted to exist in a reality they pretended was void of hobos and shanty towns and crime. A vicious butcher was going to make Kingsbury Run known to all of Cleveland, though, and no amount of pretending would make reality less of a nightmare than it was about to become. The Friday morning before the Republican convention, two boys, it's always two boys.
It's always...
Charlie
and Georgie.
Were taking a shortcut through Kingsbury Run on their way to go fishing for the day when they saw a pair of pants rolled up under a bush. They poked and prodded at the bundled up pants with their fishing poles until a man's head came rolling out from under the bush. Later that afternoon, police began searching for the rest of the body, but came up with nothing until the following morning, when they discovered a naked, headless corpse hidden in some bushes almost directly in front of the railroad police station.
Oh.
Whoever put it there was now taunting the railroad police. The victim had been a tall, slender guy with a handsome face, estimated to be in his mid-20s. There were 6 distinctive tattoos on his body, suggesting that he may have been a sailor.
Yeah, especially back in the 40s, late 30s.
Yeah, this is this is 1936 we're in now.
Yeah.
The tattoos included a Cupid on an anchor, a dove under the words Helen Paul, a butterfly, the cartoon character Jiggs, which I had you looked up, an arrow through a heart, and the initials WCG. A pile of expensive clothing was found nearby, And even though he was found in the middle of hobo country, it wasn't likely that he was one himself. He was clean-shaven, well-nourished, and as stated already, he was seemingly well-dressed when he was murdered.
Wow.
Once again, the coroner determined the cause of death to be decapitation, which is a very difficult way to murder someone, and had been very rare in the history of crime.
Well, yeah, they'd have to be pretty much out. You have to overpower them. And
I mean, like, throughout history, of course, there's been a shitload of decapitation.
Yeah.
It's been the
but there's machine, guillotine, things like that.
But to actually murder, like, just straight up one-on-one murder somebody.
There's a lot more blood than what you'd expect to.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
How much did you expect, first of all?
Well, I thought I drained it all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he did. Maybe he drained it.
You'd have to cut the head off to drain it, right?
I don't know.
Or would you just, like, slit the throat?
Yeah.
Drain it that way? But once you slit the throat, you might as well just
keep going, yeah.
And let it drain.
Don't procrastinate and put it off for later.
Yeah, man. If you're going to kill, don't half-ass it. Whole-head it.
I don't want to die in a fire, and I don't want to be decapitated.
I don't really give a shit about decapitation. I don't want to die in a fire. I don't want to drown. Those are my two.
What if you drown in a fire?
That's really bad luck. I don't want to hang myself. So I feel like that one's on me.
Yeah.
Like, it's my choice. For some reason, hanging, like, that freaks me out. I think we've talked about it. Just that, like, where you don't die, they say. Like,
oh, yeah.
You just fucking, like, sit. Yeah, you're just there. Yeah, feels fucked up. Yeah. Anyways.
Back to murder.
Back to the murders. The coroner saw... So this has been the same coroner the whole time, of course. His name was Pierce. He saw the horrifying connection that was becoming clearer and clearer, but the police still wanted to ignore it. Between the desperation of the city's upper crust to proclaim Cleveland as a well-to-do city that should be held in high esteem, and the murderous obsessions of a brutal killer, whether anyone wanted to believe it or not, Cleveland was the home of a serial killer. And with no leads or clues to the identity of the butcher, no one knew how many bodies would end up being found. And that is where I will conclude.
Oh, man, I'm into it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You said 3 words earlier in a sentence that have never been said together in a sentence before.
What were those 3 words?
Visit Cleveland highlight.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think anyone's ever had a highlight and a visit to Cleveland.
So that's not entirely true.
No, I've gone to Cleveland and, it's all right. I was robbed.
Favorites. So Cleveland has one of my absolute favorite areas. It's just a little, can't remember what street it is. It's like the main street that runs through Cleveland. But the grog shop, it's a punk bar.
Okay.
Is on it. And then if you walk down the street, there's like just a couple places down, there's a bar called the Winking Lizard, and they've got like a shitload of beer you can choose from. Walk a little farther down, there's a place called Big Fun Toys.
You told me about that. Toys, yeah.
Up like 50s through like the 90s.
Okay.
Walk a little farther down, there's a head shop / record shop.
All right, let's go.
A bunch of cool shit. And then walk a little further down from that, there's a 3-story used bookstore.
Okay, fine. Cleveland doesn't completely suck.
Like, that part of it.
It's cool.
And to get to it, like, the main way to get through it, you drive through this little... So, like, you drive through the city.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, you drive through, like, the ran-down part of the city.
East 1999.
And then all of a sudden you enter this little area that I always describe as a shire. It's just this little wooded area. Like, it's just all of a sudden, like, you turn onto it.
Yeah.
And off the main road, you turn onto it, and all of a sudden, you're in this little wooded area. And there's just, like, the houses are all little. Like, they're all, like, little cottages.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of the city. And then you drive out of it, and there you are. Grog shop and all that.
Huh.
So, it's like, I always feel like I'm entering, like, a little world that, like, other people don't see.
Yeah.
Like, you just drive through. So, yeah, that part of it, the rest of Cleveland can suck a dick.
Suck it.
Yeah.
And hey, if you like winking lizards, I'll show you one after we're done recording.
There's a winking lizard bar here in town.
Is it really?
That is definitely a gay bar.
Where is it?
Downtown. I said downtown.
I know, but I mean, there's a lot.
It's like on 7th.
Huh.
It's one of those little buildings. Like if you come,
I'd hope it's a building.
I don't know how to tell you.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, it's not. Because I remember I saw the one in Cleveland the first time. Me and my buddy Banks went in before a show and got some beers. And then like a week later, I saw the one here.
Yeah.
And the next time we were back in Cleveland, I was like, man, are you guys like a chain? And they were like, no. So I realized that it just happened to be. I think Winking Lizard is like
code.
Yeah, of some sort.
Because I was talking about my dick when I said I'd show you a winking lizard.
Oh man, I'm glad you didn't give that any thought. Wait, it winks?
Yep.
That's impressive. I don't want to see it, but that's impressive. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Thank you.
So this isn't the only. Like, we're talking about this crazy ass serial killing shit in Cleveland, but you remember there a few years back?
The House of Horrors?
Where they found the where like the
one girl escaped. Yeah, and that guy like had all those girls in the basement.
Yeah, Cleveland's fucked up.
Cleveland has a pretty fucked up history.
Drew Carey was full of shit.
Do you remember the Browns? Oh yeah, I'm wearing a Browns hoodie because they're awful.
No, man, this is their year.
Yeah, this is their year.
They get their shit together. They hired a coach no one knows.
And a 32-year-old GM.
And Jason Garrett, who did great with the Cowboys.
They did not hire
Jason.
He's
the offensive coach. He's the offensive, the offensive coach.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'll flip this desk over.
Yeah, because I'm almost positive.
Wow.
Keep talking.
Okay. I hate when you say keep talking. Because I don't really know what to talk about. Tell a joke?
You love that, right?
I do love that. Oh. Someone said that to me at work. They only said, spit something to me.
What?
Spit something to me. Because I thought about it as a comedian.
I would have spit in his face.
Because, it just so happened to come up in a conversation. Every conversation ever.
Oh, yeah, I'm stupid.
Okay.
New York Giants.
Okay. I feel bad for flipping your desk over now. I thought he got hired by someone I read, but I didn't think...
the Giants hired that coach no one knows.
They did?
Remember, he was the guy, he was the...
oh, yeah, like last year or something.
He was like a special teams...
Oh, the Browns did. Yeah, the Browns hired...
Yeah,
they hired a guy from... he was the offensive coordinator for Minnesota, but like he rose up through the ranks, like just... He's like a real young guy, too, but he played at like Penn or Yale or something and was like, a safety in college, but now he's like an offensive coordinator. Now, of course, he's our head coach. Or the Browns head coach, not ours.
Alex Van Pelt.
That's
who they hired.
Yep.
He was with the Packers, I believe.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's not the one I'm talking about. The Giants hired that fucking coach no one ever heard of. New York Giants.
Well, I've never heard of him. They really did.
Oh, I can't remember who the fuck his name is.
People are waiting for this guy's name, Josh.
I know. He was like a...
Just Google Giants
Joe
coach.
Judge.
Joe, that is not his fucking name.
Yeah, he was the Patriots... Like, he wasn't even a real coach. He was like...
It's like a Make-A-Wish or something? He's like, I want to coach the Giants.
He was, he was like a special teams coach or something.
And they just pulled him out of obscurity.
Like, typically to be a fucking head coach, you have to have been an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, assistant coach, something.
Something higher up than
but he
special
was just
teams.
like special teams or...
Well, they were decent. They were better. They were better last year and the year before. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if Baker Mayfield quit making commercials for
everything
a month or so, he'd probably be better at football. So yeah, I don't know.
I like the story.
Yeah, it's gonna get good.
It's already good.
Yeah.
It's gonna get gooder.
It's gonna get gooder. It's gonna get more gooder.
Good damn.
So yeah, man, unless you're going to that one little special area of Cleveland, stay the fuck out of Cleveland.
Yeah, stay out of Kings Row.
Kingsbury Run.
Kingsbury Run, yeah.
And if you're a pro wrestler right now, and you want to just start saying you're from that area, call yourself the Mad Butcher.
Hell yeah.
Of Kingsbury Run.
The open sore of professional wrestling. That's MRSA.
You don't want to be called the open sore of professional wrestling. That's going to give a lot of people the wrong idea.
Fuck people.
You should definitely be the Mad Butcher.
Yeah.
like you don't have to be of Kingsbury Run. I know there's the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
But
I like the Mad Butcher at Kingsbury Run.
It sounds good, man.
Yep.
So before we get out of here, speaking of wrestling, did you watch the Rumble?
Do you want to wrestle?
Do you want to wrestle?
Oh.
Did you watch the Rumble?
I watched. I watched parts of it. I watched all the men's Rumble.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the women's Rumble. It's just.
Yeah, it was.
I had some highlights, but
I liked everything Bianca.
Kelly came back.
That was.
I was like, I would not have guessed that was Kelly unless you told me that was Kelly. I don't think she looked like. Yeah.
Man, like,
Molly Holly, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I've been trying to stay like super positive about wrestling.
Yeah.
Recently, like I've started to, but like the Santina thing made me just want to, like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's
like you know how many talented women you have between NXT, SmackDown, and Raw.
Yeah.
And you had like you couldn't put one of them in this spot.
Yeah. I saw other people were upset, but they said like that was where the WrestleMania was when he won Miss WrestleMania, which was bad. That was bad. That Royal Rumble. But I felt like they should at least let like Beth and the other one like throw Santina out. You know, I mean Santina eliminated himself, but
man, Beth Phoenix fucking killed it.
Yeah,
like almost killed herself.
Yeah, she hit her back of her head and just stayed in it. And
yeah, like I'm really hoping that they. I mean, as a wrestler, there's a good like I know there's a good possibility that like the officials were telling her like, hey, you need to get whatever, and she was just refusing to do it.
That's what because you could see like refs kept like coming up to her like eliminations and stuff and like talking to her, but she stayed in the ring. I was really surprised she stayed in so long.
Well, what I'm really worried, like what I really hate if it's the case, is that like they were keeping her in there just so they could do that fucking Santina spot.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, please. Say that's not.
You gotta have her in there for it. Yeah. I mean, it might be because they had their whole storyline. You know,
that blood was fucking crazy. That was like Ric Flair '92 Rumble.
Yeah,
that's what that reminded me.
That was the hard way too.
Oh yeah,
that's wrestling lingo.
But yeah, man, I loved the.
We were texting during it.
The men's Rumble.
Yeah, we were texting during it, and I would say I hate it, and then right back, all right, I love it. Nope, I hate it again. Yeah. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
I thought the story was amazing.
It was an actual story.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were bitching about, like, well, I just wasted those guys, and I'm like, well, do you think they were going to win?
Yeah, none of them. I mean, some of them were bigger names, but like Nakamura's not going to win this year. You know, like I feel bad for John Morrison. Like he comes back and gets eliminated like that. Like how he didn't blow out both his knees,
dude. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure like just his lifestyle and like how active he is and how athletic helped. But I mean, he just. You kept saying like people are earning easy paychecks, and I was like, I don't think anything. Yeah, nobody.
Definitely.
Yeah, just to take and like the more sweaty that Brock got, I just felt like he was just like those suplexes, man, were just nasty.
Yeah, but I thought it was. I love that they actually used the Rumble to tell a story.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just like a bunch of random people coming out.
Yeah,
because like the past few years have just been, come out, do your moment.
Yep.
Have your moment.
Hit your finisher 3 or 4 times, and everyone they
stare downs.
Feed into you one at a time, and
this like the whole thing was to tell a story.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre was fucking over.
I think he kind of overdid the stare towards Brock, or I wish Brock would have looked back at him or something. I don't know. Like that seemed kind of creepy.
Brock was blown the fuck up. I think. So like you said,
but Brock did put in a hell of a performance.
I loved it. Yeah,
he
was awesome. I
mean, the way they sold it, Ricochet, like kicking him in the nuts from behind. Like, I hope that leads at least to a match between those two, you know. So
I think they definitely played off the fact that like everyone went into it assuming Roman was going to win.
Yeah.
And then like when Drew eliminates Brock, because even my mindset was, I even said it to you, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Drew eliminated Brock. He doesn't need to win it now.
Yeah.
They've already established the story, so now they'll have Roman.
Yep.
So I think that's what, like, using that, having it come down to those guys, like, it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It was a great Rumble.
I watched where it was, like, somewhere, wherever he's from in Scotland, they showed, like, a bar reaction to him. Yeah, yep. Yeah, they showed a bar reaction to him winning, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just crazy, like, where Drew McIntyre was, and, like, now he's, like, the Royal Rumble winner.
I'm, like, I think one of the only, like, I don't know, when he was with 3-man band.
Yeah.
I was always just like, that dude shouldn't be in there. Like, that dude, I've always looked at him as, like, a main eventer.
I think they fucked him right from the start, like, because Vince brought him out and was like,
here's the one.
Yeah.
Whatever he called him.
Yeah, that was just, he was like, jammed down people's throat.
Yeah. But when they brought him back,
yeah,
I was just like, give that dude the belt now. Like, I can't believe it's taken them this long to get him.
He's a beast.
He's a fucking monster.
But I will go back to Brock, because Brock Keith Lee comes out, like, Brock reactions to Keith Lee. He's just, like, looking at Brock and like, he's a big fella.
Yeah, fuck, it's so
and
good.
Dancing the MVP shit, and just, like, the Shelton Benjamin thing, you know, where Shelton came out, you know, and just smiling, happy Brock is, like, just the best thing. And, like, people bitch about it. Sometimes I bitch about him, you know, because he's part-time, you know, but, like, he comes in, everything he does is just good, man.
I was reading, I think it was just like a review of the Rumble or Raw, I don't remember which one now. But the guy that wrote it, Brandon Stroud, it's on uprocks.com. He, to me, he described it perfectly. Like, Brock Lesnar, like, fucking matters.
Yeah.
Like, everything he does, there's a legit response.
Yeah.
So, like, guys like Corbin, and guys like that who think they get heel heat, like, they're not.
No.
Like,
when they call that go away heat.
Legit reaction.
Yeah. Like when he would just hold the belt up when he was the only one in the ring. I mean, people.
So fucking good.
It was making people pissed.
Yeah.
Like, who, what? Like, that's the job. That's what they were wanting. Like, they wanted you to, like, want him to get eliminated, you know? So every time they'd get, like, 3 people or more in the ring, like, I was on the edge of my couch. I was like, all right.
Oh, they're going to Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi and Braun. Yeah. I was like, all right, man. I was like, this shit, let's get him. Let's get him out. And then, like, he'd eliminate everyone. And I would just, like, just sit back and just, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because they get Kofi, Big E, and Ray all in.
Yep.
Those are, like, because, you know, he, beat Kofi in 8 seconds.
Yep.
Then he fucked up Ray.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So Big E's just a hoss. So.
Then you're like, oh, fuck, here we go. They've been telling that story. So now it's the guys that he's wronged. And then he eliminates them. And you're like, fuck.
And he had Keith Lee and Braun in there. And, like, Keith Lee and Braun started fighting. And I was like, I was by myself in my apartment. I was like, don't fight each other.
Him first.
I was like, get Brock. Yeah. You know, like, that never happens. I never fucking do that watching wrestling.
I feel like Brock Lesnar is one of the only people in wrestling that understands wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one that understands
him and Paul Heyman.
Pro wrestling works. Yeah. Him and Heyman.
Yeah. Edge came back too. We can't do it without
awesome. His old man Edge.
Yeah.
His beard just looks fucking cool as shit.
They missed that first beer though. I was so pissed about that.
I saw they're gonna re-edit it.
Yeah, for say if you stream it or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's a good Rumble. I want to watch it again. I might go home and watch it right now.
Yeah. Well,
it's really good.
Was that a hint that you want to?
Yeah, we're probably close to an hour. But I don't want. Before we go though, I just want to also say shout out Kobe Bryant, man. That was Sunday too.
Yeah,
that was really fucking crazy shit, man.
It's fucking awful. Yeah,
I don't really have anything else to add to it. I mean, I
can't even really talk about it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I'm already getting a little.
All right, so
so we're gonna. But so we'll be back next week with the conclusion.
Yeah.
To the conclusion of the Cleveland Torso murders.
So listen, share, tell friends and stuff.
Again, thank you, Travis Graham.
Yeah, thanks, Travis Graham.
Check out the new badass artwork we have, and yeah, keep sharing, keep liking. I'm gonna make a actual Instagram page for us.
Cool.
And
that hashtag isn't used, so hashtag us up, middle-aged and mediocre. And send in your shirt sizes.
Again, yeah. If you guys want a shirt, yeah, hit us up.
DIY.
Yeah, let us know. We'll make you a shirt.
DIY not.
We'll just you can pay us whatever you want for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to do it.
Give it to you, or
just please wear it. People are like, "What's that?" And you can just be like, "Oh, this is a podcast I listen to."
So let us know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll be back next week. See you then.
Bye. Love you.